How you doing? It's Chris Bradley here, race director for the Suffolk Coastal Path 50k, recording this route fly-through video just to give you a little bit of an idea of what to expect. Also just to note that this is being recorded ahead of the 2023 race, in which we have a very small route change from 2022. So I'll go through that shortly. One thing to note, just to say, the race is completely signposted throughout, and we have a lot of marshals out as well, provided by Suffolk Search and Rescue. So this really is just, for your information, just to sort of get you a bit excited, get you a bit familiar with the route. Having said all of that, we do require all runners to carry a digital version of the route with them. That is, just in case the signage gets tampered with or removed by a member of public on the day. Although we're constantly out there checking and we've got a lot of marshals on the route, unfortunately 50 kilometers, we can't be, at every turn for the entire day. And unfortunately, some people do like to mess around with things. So it might happen. It's unlikely you'll actually need it, but please do head over to the websites. You will see, if you scroll down, all sorts of information on here, but there's a resources bit here which actually has the GPX just as a raw file, so you can upload that to your watch, or you can grab it through OS Maps, through Garmin, through Google, and there's a version of a printable map here. These are also actually given out to all participants at registration, so at least you have a paper map with you. So I don't want to worry you and stress you about getting lost or anything. Most of the time it's absolutely fine, but you just never know what's going to happen. So having that as a backup on your phone or your watch is just super useful and can solve a problem if required. So let's have a look at the routes. Now, because this is an A to B route, a lot of you will be getting the coach from the finish area and will driving you all the way to the start. So just to highlight where that is and what's going on, because it's not directly at the finish. So you'll see, if I zoom into Aldborough, the finish itself is outside Moot Hall, outside the town hall. The car park and where the coach goes from is this one here, Thorpe Road car park. So nice big car park. You have to pay for it via Ringo, so you get that app on your phone, and then the coaches will depart from here at around about 7 AM. You will be able to board them slightly earlier. Please don't be late, because we're not going to be waiting around. It will leave pretty sharp at 7. That is also a great place for people to park if they're meeting you at the finish line later. That is by far the closest and biggest car park to the finish. So that drives you all the way to Lowestoft, which is where the start is. The coach will drop you off. There will be a marshal with you on the coach, but the coach will drop you off at the end of this road, and you'll see that the start and registration is just here. It's right next to a cafe called Sunrise at Zach's, and is at the start itself is from the lifeguard huts right next to it. Toilets just there. There's also plenty of toilets in the area. There's toilets just here as well. There's another set of toilets up there. There's parking for the start, either here, Kirkley Cliff car park. You've also got this one, Pakefield Road car park. So loads of places to park, I suppose, for people who are dropping off and spectating. I doubt many of you will actually leave your car at the start, because you won't be able to get back to it very easily. So just to go through the basic route, there's not a huge amount to say in terms of the detail at the start. You're following along the promenade, or kind of along initially a paved path here. Now, if you're local, you'll know that the cliffs at Pakefield, so the cliffs in this area here, have been very unstable, and all of this footpath has been closed for many years. So the coastal path was diverted and takes you in not the most picturesque area for a couple of kilometres. But in some ways, this is nice right at the start of the race, that you can really tick off a few Ks, because it's completely flat and it's on pavements or tracks. So you actually take a right and you go all the way up, and you're kind of running along the A12 right past that McDonald's until you get to Heathland Park, where then you go back into to the trails, and you've got a nice little trail route which eventually kind of takes you back down to beach level, and you're running along the beach. Little bit sandy here, but very, very short section. And this actually already brings you into Kessenland, which is where our first checkpoint is. This is about 7 kilometers in. Some public toilets there in case you need them. It's an early checkpoint, but the next checkpoint is 21 and a bit kilometers, 21.8 kilometers. So we thought having a 7k checkpoint is a nice way just to top up those water supplies for that next 15k segment, checkpoint 2, which is going to be in a place called Raiden Village Hall. I'll show you that in a minute. So once you leave Kessenland, this is some nice stuff, nice and open. You've got really good views, and then you back kind of inland for a little section. So this is Benneker Nature Reserve. You're kind of going through and around there, and you know, for nearly all of this section actually you're inland. So you know, although you might think coastal path you're going to be just hugging the coast the whole way, this is cool because it changes what you see. You get lots of different running here. So a lot of this is kind of gravel path, then it goes on to country lane, and then it goes back onto some really nice trail where you've got sort of single track, double track trail plus a bit of woodland. It looks quite windy there, but actually the route is pretty obvious, and it's not a hugely well used area, so you don't really see many other people. It's just nice running, a little bit undulating at times. Marshall will be situated there at South Cove. There'll be a few other marshals around that start area. So once you've navigated this inland section, you are pretty much hitting Southwold, and you're not far off halfway at this point. So you get to the checkpoint Raiden. So this is at the village hall. So you're you're running down this road. Checkpoint is actually, it's not in the village hall, it's situated on the grass, so you shouldn't miss that at all. You don't need to go actually in there. You'll see the marshals there, grab anything that you want, and then just have to be a bit careful here crossing this road. A marshal will cross you over, and then you're taking this right on Lowestoft Road. Nice trail, sort of slightly downhill here, and that takes you into this Southwold Pier car park. So yeah, you sort of pass toilets at lots of different places. So again, there's like another public toilets there. This isn't anything to do with us. This is just the public toilets that are available on the route. We've got loads of marshals. Massive thanks to the Lowestoft road runners for providing. Got about 8 of them out in Southwold, getting you through Southwold safely. If you've not been to Southwold before, great place to go and get a beer after the race, you know, or whatever. There's loads of cool places to explore in Southwold. You're following the main kind of pavement footpath along the promenade, but not at beach level here. You're up on the cliff. Go past the Lord Nelson. That would be my my place to go for a pint, and then you're going out of Southwold and you're getting up along some nice trails again, but yeah, simple, flat, and then we have to navigate. So you're over halfway at this point. So if we have a look at the old predicted times. Let's have a look at this. So as you're going through Southwold, so 24.6 kilometers. So your halfway mark is pretty much just in this area here. Just as you're departing Southwold, that's your halfway mark. Now you're navigating the River Blythe here. There is a ferry. Please don't take the ferry across. You're going all the way up across this bridge, and then you're going straight back down. I suppose just be wary, you know, when you're crossing this bridge, not to go straight on. You're just going all the way up, crossing the bridge, all the way back down into Walberswick. And this is where we've got a slight diversion from last year. So the coastal path does go down here onto sort of Walberswick Beach. And actually, you'll probably quite enjoy that we've moved this, because you have to run across a little bit of sand and shingle at this point, which is, you know, not anyone's cup of tea. So instead, and there'll be a marshal just here, and there'll be a marshal just here. And yeah, so basically running up Ferry Road into Walberswick, and you're taking a left just before the Anchor Pub, and this takes you along this trail and down to this point. This is now the other side, so the closed bridge is this one, Dunwich River Bridge, so that's completely been replaced at the moment. And massive thanks to Justin for the email and the heads up about that. Really appreciate it. We could get ahead of that and do this in good time rather than next week when I'm down there. So thank you very much. So, all right, now you're into the Dunwich area, and I think like the levels of picturesqueness sort of really ramp up now. So this is really nice running. You're on a lot of sort of boardwalks and really good stuff here. Once you get into Dunwich itself, we've got our third checkpoint. So this is 34.1 kilometres. It's in the car park of the church. So as you're running along St James's Street, at the entrance of the car park of the church, you'll see our checkpoint set up. There's no toilets at this location, but as I say, there's lots of public toilets. For example, there are some just there if you were going to just make that slight detour. As I say, the easier toilets are probably back up in Southwold or the village hall previous. Navigating your way through Dunwich, and then we get into Dunwich Heath, which is the National Trust Reserve. This is really cool because once you're kind of up here, you're slightly on the top of a crest, and you can see all of the heathland down there, and you can start to see where you're heading towards. You can see the nuclear power station at Sizewell, and you can see the coastline as it sort of wraps around a little bit. So you kind of know in some ways exactly where you're going at that point because you can almost see it. So as you navigate through the heathland, and then it is now pretty straight, to be honest. As soon as you join that path, as you exit the car park of Dunwich Heath, yeah, you're almost running straight until you get to Sizewell, where checkpoint 4 is. So checkpoint 4 will be 43 kilometres. Again, you got some toilets there, and again, you know, pretty straight, but we do go inland a little bit. So you don't follow this path, go inland a little bit. That gets you into Thorpeness, which is the town, the town slightly north of Aldborough. So once you're in Thorpeness, you really very much are on the home straight. Navigate your way through Thorpeness and just following the main coastal path down all the way into Aldborough, and then as I said earlier, yeah, that finish line is in front of Moot Hall. Zoom in a little bit. Moot Hall's just here, so you're going to be, there's a little kind of chute that you're going to be running down, and then just here will be the finish arch, and you know, you're in one of my favourite coastal towns in the UK. It's absolutely beautiful, is Aldborough. Loads to do, loads of places to get food. Obviously the sort of no-brainer would be the Aldborough Fish and Chip Shop just here, and the Cross Keys, which is the pub just opposite, sorry, not the Cross Keys, the Mill Inn, the pub just opposite the finish line. Great Adnam's pub there, which is, yeah, not a bad place to relax after you've been running for 50 kilometres. So that's the route, north to south, Lowestoft to Aldborough. If you're running it in 2023, we'll see you on the 9th of September, and if you're watching this for a future year, we'll see you whenever that is. So nice one, guys. Take care. See you soon.